Your neighbor spent $40,000 on their backyard. You are about to spend a fraction of that, and your garden is going to look better. Stick around, because design number 3 is the one most people get completely wrong, and it is costing them hundreds of dollars a year without even knowing it. Before we get into it, hit subscribe to Home Intel so you never miss a design breakdown that actually saves you money instead of costing you more. Why expensive looking does not mean high maintenance. There's a myth that a garden that looks curated and lush has to be a garden you are out in every weekend pulling weeds and babying plants. In 2026, landscape design has shifted hard towards structure-first planting, sometimes called matrix planting, where architectural form and repetition replace chaotic variety. That means the expensive look comes from clean lines and mass planning, not from constant labor. Once you understand this, you stop paying for maintenance and start paying for design. Gravel and structural planting. This is the single fastest way to make a yard look like a professional designed it. Swap grass sections for a clean gravel base, then add 3 to 5 structural plants like ornamental grasses, boxwood spheres, or sculptural agave, depending on your climate. The trick is repetition. Use the same plant in odd-numbered clusters across the space instead of a random mix. Before you lay the gravel, put down a proper woven landscape fabric or geotextile underneath. This is where a lot of DIYers go wrong, using plastic sheeting instead, which actually causes water to pool and can rot plant roots rather than help drainage. Get the base layer right, and this look reads as intentional and modern, and it remains one of the cheapest per square foot upgrades you can make in 2026. The monochrome green garden. Color is expensive to maintain. Flowers fade, need deadheading, and often need replanting every season. A monochrome green garden skips all of that. Think layered textures of green at different heights, tailored to your yard's actual sunlight. If your space is shaded, hostas and ferns are the workhorses. If your yard is sunny and south-facing, lean on boxwood and juniper instead, since hostas and ferns will scorch in direct baking sun. Because everything stays in one-tone family, the eye reads as calm and high and rather than busy, and maintenance drops significantly because you are working almost entirely with perennials and evergreens instead of annuals you have to replace constantly. The raised bed mistake. Here is the one people get wrong. Raised beds look incredible in photos, clean lines, elevated soil, crisp edges. But most people fill them with the same high-maintenance annuals or demanding vegetables they were already struggling with, just in a nicer box, and that leads straight to burnout. If you want the raised bed look without the raised bed workload, fill them with dwarf shrubs like dwarf conifers or boxwoods, ornamental grasses, or a single repeated perennial. That turns a bed into a permanent architectural feature, instead of something you are replanting every season. You get the elevated, tailored appearance without a weekly watering and deadheading routine. This is a design most homeowners overspend on because they pay for the structure but skip the low-maintenance plant strategy that makes it actually work long-term. Native plant drifts. Native plants have become one of the biggest movements in landscaping heading through 2026, and not just for sustainability points. They are adapted to your regional rainfall and soil, which means far less watering, fertilizing, and babying. Planted in drifts, meaning large sweeping groups of the same species rather than scattered single plants, they mirror natural ecological patterns while still looking clean and intentional rather than messy. This style is showing up constantly in higher-end residential design because it delivers texture and movement while cutting your water bill and eliminating constant replanting. Hardscape zoning with minimal planting. The most expensive-looking gardens often have less plant material than you think. What they have is zoning, a defined patio area, a defined path, a defined seating nook, all separated by hardscape materials like pavers, stone, or timber edging. Then planting is used sparingly, as an accent rather than a main event. This approach reduces maintenance dramatically because you're not covering the whole yard in things that need care. You are covering it in durable materials and letting a few well-placed plants do the visual work. The real reason this works. All 5 of these designs share the same underlying principle. Less variety, more repetition, and plant choices suited to your specific climate and sunlight instead of whatever looked good at the garden center. That is the actual formula behind every low-maintenance yard that still looks high-end, and it is the same formula professional designers are using in 2026. If you found this helpful, let us know in the comments which design you are trying first, and subscribe to Home Intel for more honest, practical design breakdowns with no sponsorships and no fluff. Just what actually works.